Hey there, you're listening to BD4, where there's no better way to get your Yankees and Knicks analysis. Yanks every series, Knicks every game, and MMA on occasion. Here's your host, RJ Carbone.
And a high drive into left center field. Stanton's going to watch another one fly. Are you kidding me? DiVincenzo a three. Bang! Bang! Knicks take a
Take this time to apologize to absolutely nobody.
At the wall. See ya! See ya! See ya! Mr. Nova.
Anthony for three. Bang! That one goes down and the game is tied.
You shook up the world again.
I did it again. But God did it, man. I really just had
Gonna have to. Bronson running away. Oh my! He has been the best player to put on that uniform.
Ball game over. Yankees win. The Yankees win.
Okay, so let's talk about this Yankees team, right? Because that's what I want to do right now on my Sunday night with a rare off day tomorrow. I'm off from work tomorrow. What I want to be doing is talking about this Yankees team. So the Yankees lost 2 more games out of 3. They lost another series, this time to the Houston Astros. Very average team. Average, above average, elite, terrible like them. It doesn't matter. Because the Yankees are just going to find ways to lose. So there's no hope here. Okay? There's zero hope left in me. I am at a point. I've tried to talk myself into certain things. Well, there is this. Well, there's that. Scrap it. Scrap it. Come back next year. That's it. I'm watching the rest of this season for player development. How does Dominguez look in his final stretch of games? How does Luis Seal round into form for next year? Etc., etc., etc. What does Cam Schlittler look like the rest of the way? I'm done. The Yankees are capable of nothing. There's no such thing as momentum to them. There has been so many moments that could lead to something that they've just said, nope, we're not going to let that lead to anything. You date all the way back to the very last game against the Mets, the Bellinger play. You had multiple moments since then to get you going. This could be the moment of the season. This could be the turnaround. Nope. The Trent Grisham home run yesterday. Nope. It's over. I'm done. The Yankees are not going to make the postseason, nor should they, nor do they deserve it. Because bad teams don't make the playoffs. And the Yankees are a bad team. They started the season 35-20. That's .636 ball across their first 55 games. Since then, they're 27-36. That's .432 ball over 63 games. So they've been now bad longer than they've been good. That's a bad team. Hence, third place. Hence, being a half game away from not having a playoff spot. It's safe to say. It's safe to say. It's not relatively close to being safe to say. It's safe to say that this season has been a massive flop and Plan B was an utter fucking failure. It seems I was right all along, dating back to when they lost Gordo in the offseason, that it was not going to work well for them. The season unraveled so quickly. They had a 6.5 game lead. It unraveled just like that. Because why? Because the Yankees like to wait. That's the key word, wait. They love to wait. They wait until it kills them. They waited so long to move Jazz Chisholm back to second base. They waited so long to cut ties with LeMahieu. They waited so long to cut ties with Stroman. They waited so long to demote Devin Williams. And when they did demote him, they put him right back at closer not long after. And then they demoted him again. And then Boone puts him right back in high leverage just a week ago. The manager is lifeless. He's a zombie. Nobody respects him. That's the problem when you bring in a friend. You say you want a player-friendly guy, you want a friendly manager. That's the issue. They may like you, but they don't respect you. The clubhouse is a lounge. It's a hangout spot. The Yankees have become a laughingstock. If anybody watched Old Timers Day and they came out of that with anything other than that was embarrassing, then I don't know what you were watching. Because we've talked about in recent episodes, Jeter, A-Rod, Ben Rice speaking in the postgame, Michael Kay, O'Neill, how they've been calling the Yankees out consistently. You got guys, reporters like Eric Bolin talking on foul territory. You got Joel Sherman, John Heyman. And then you see what happens on Saturday during Old Timers Day. They're interviewing all these Yankee legends, champions. Jorge Posada calling them out, saying they don't need a friend. They need more urgency. Tino Martinez saying he's very concerned. All these Yankee champions saying it without saying it, right? Because they got to toe a line. O'Neill was on it all weekend. They didn't even bring Boone out for introductions. The Yankees, of course, had some bullshit excuse lined up. So, just the fact that every Yankee legend in the building, seemingly, and all these reporters are calling out the lack of urgency and the accountability that isn't there, and the player development, how it's all metrics down in the system. It's all about, here are your exit velo numbers, but there's no teaching of situational baseball. Everybody's saying it. It's getting louder and louder, and it's so obvious who the common denominator is. And what a better example than Game 1 of this series on Friday, where the Yankees lose 5-3 to the Astros. And the manager of this team, I don't even think I'm going to say his name this episode because it just irks me saying his name. But the manager of this team goes to his boy to blow the game in the 10th inning again. It's so, first of all, it's so funny to me how he waited so long to pull Devin Williams from closer at the beginning of the season. Then he finally does it, and he puts him back into that role weeks later, and then he sucks some more, and he finally took him out, but then he keeps putting him back into these high leverage spots late in the game anyway, which is the same exact thing as closing. And it only leads me to a point where, I'm not a conspiracy guy, but either Aaron Boone is involved in sports betting like some of these guys are today, or he's trying to lose his job. I honestly think, I said his name, didn't I? I honestly think he's trying to lose his job. I don't think he wants the job anymore. He's had it for 8 years. He's 52 years old. He's aged a fuck ton in his tenure. You could see it on his face. Nobody likes him. I don't think he wants to be here anymore, to be honest. I honestly think he's purposely trying to lose games. I think he's done. Because obviously, if he had a brain, then he wouldn't be making decisions like this. But yeah, it's a tie game in the 10th inning. You got options. He goes to Devin Williams. Gives up a couple of hits. One of them's a home run. 3 runs in total. 16 pitches. Blows the game. Blows it right there. Doesn't go to Tim Hill because it's a righty lane. 3 consecutive right-handed batters up. Tim Hill's usually your lefty-on-lefty guy. Okay, fine. Although, once the lefty Trammell came up, 4 at-bats later, you had a chance to do it then. You didn't. But you could have done multiple things. You could have put Weaver back out there for a second inning of work. He looked very sharp. Didn't do that. I think the play was Mark Leiter Jr. I don't think there was any kind of excuse to not use Leiter. It's the 10th inning, so you got the fake base runner on second. Leiter's a guy who gets ground balls and gets whiffs. He gets swing and miss. He's pitched in high leverage spots for you before. And he's not Devin Williams. But for the 3rd time in 4 games, this manager is prioritizing fixing somebody's confidence over winning a ball game that you needed to win in order to keep a fucking playoff spot. Think about the games that he's purposely punting for the sake of wanting to make guys feel better. That's the opposite of player friendly. It's rude to Devin Williams to keep putting him in these situations. The guy's confidence is shot. You watch his post-game interviews, he's doing everything but crying up there. When people talk about this guy having no urgency, it's this kind of stuff. You had weapons to go for the kill. Anyways, there was a game before that moment. Cam Schlittler continues to be good. 5 innings, 2 runs. Every start of his, he's kept the Yankees in the game. Good for him. I'm excited to see this kid develop. I think he'll be an excellent relief pitcher someday. And the Yankees clutched up in the 6th inning behind Judge and Rice. Rice, who had a good game, good series, to tie the game at that point. But again, the game was blown away by the manager and his favorite pitcher. Saturday, the Yankees got their only win of the series, 5-4. The righty heel against the lefty Valdez, who did not have it. Yankees start in a hole. Pena with a leadoff home run. Stanton and Rice with some RBIs in the bottom of the 1st to put the Yanks up. Correa ties it with an RBI single in the 4th. 5th inning, Stanton and Goldschmidt, or Stanton and Ben Rice played some more runs to make it 4-2. Altuve ties the game with Walker in the 8th. And then bottom 8, obviously you have the Trent Grisham game-winning, no doubt home run. Second deck. Looked really cool hitting it. Turns his back. Love seeing Houston just deflated in that moment, I'm not going to lie. Puts the Yanks up 5-4, which they eventually win. So, against Valdez, who did not have it, you scored 4 runs in 5 2/3, and you got a run on the Houston pen in 2 1/3. Grisham goes 3 for 4. Bellinger 2 for 4. A lot of other Yankees contributing. Caballero, good game from him. Double sack fly. The bullpen, Leiter did a nice job finishing the 6th. Weaver got the 7th. Doval got the 8th. He struggled. Bednar finished out the game again, did his thing. But I want to go to the mound and go to the starting pitcher from this game and talk about Luis Seal. Briefly. Luis Seal in this game, 5 1/3 innings, 2 runs, 6 hits, 3 of them for extra bases, 1 walk, but he struck out 7 on 91 pitches, picked up the win. It's the first time we're tipping our cap to Luis Seal this season in his second start, obviously. Good to see, right? 2 blemishes, really. The first inning, he made a decent pitch, but, it was like 97, top of the zone to Jeremy Pena. Pena got the best of him. And then he settled down for a bit. He retired 9 in a row. 4th inning came, he gave up a couple of big hits. He had a bad changeup that he gave to Sanchez for a leadoff double. And then he went 98 up and out to Correa for a hard hit single. But that was it. He was much better because he missed a ton of bats, unlike in his first start. The fastball did get hit a bit, but he made some good pitches with it. Got Christian Walker striking out, 98 above the zone. He went 97 outside to McCormick to get him striking out. The slider was probably his best pitch in this game. Houston batters went 1 for 8 on the slider, 56% whiff rate. Got Diaz with a slider away. He went slider upstairs on Urias. He went slider away to Altuve with runners in scoring position in the 4th inning to get out of that. Slider away on Sanchez to end the 6th. Set him up with 3 straight fastballs. Then he went to a slider. The changeup was pretty effective. It got some swing and miss. It got some weak contact. Mixed up his pitch as well in this game, and that's why I like Luis Gil, is because he's got the correct pitch mix that you want from a starting pitcher. He's got a fastball at 97. He's got a changeup that he can go to lefties with, and he's got a slider that he gets righties with. Different directions. But good for him. You know, last episode we talked about Will Warren, and between him and Luis Gil and maybe even Cam Schlittler, they're all kind of fighting for that game 3 rotation spot. We can kind of have that conversation. Again, I am now at a point where I'm not talking postseason. I just hope Gil's getting right and, you know, can work himself right for next year. I'm also going to tip my cap to Luke Weaver, because Weaver not only pitched in the middle game, but he also pitched on Friday. Finishes the series 2 innings, no runs, no hits, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts. He looks really good lately. The fastball looks great. The changeup's getting a ton of swing and miss to lefties. Guys are swinging over the top of it. 5 straight appearances / innings without a run. 6 straight without an earned run. So getting better and better, knock on wood. So it's the 6th time we'll be tipping our cap to Luke Weaver this season. And then today, Sunday, the Yankees lose 7-1. The lefty freed Max Fraud against the righty Jason Alexander. So the Yankees faced some random who isn't good, and they were dominated, as everybody said would happen, because we all know this team. Fried continued to derail what was once a very strong season, and the Yankees, now I had turned it off by this point, but I heard and I saw some clips of them kicking and throwing the ball around some more, so that was nice. But yeah, Max Fried was bad once again. 5 innings, 4 runs, 8 hits, a walk, and he takes the much-deserved loss. Sets the tone in this game. He set the tone all right. First inning, some really stupid pitching. A weak-ass 94-mile-an-hour fastball, top of the zone to Jose Altuve. What are you thinking? The guy's made a career off hitting that pitch first pitch. Got hit super hard the rest of the outing. Continued to not miss many bats. And he's just become everything you don't want from a supposed ace. Like, he never gets momentum, never picks up his team, never stops the bleeding. Which is crazy, because he was brilliant to start the season. And he was that ace who had all those characteristics, right? In his first 17 starts, he had a 1.92 ERA, a .94 whip. He averaged 6.4 innings per start. In his last 7 starts, he's got a 6 ERA, a 1.56 whip, and he's averaging 5.1 innings. He's been so fucking bad over the last month and a half. I don't know if he's injured. Is the blister still bothering him? Can he not grip his curveball? Is the workload piling up on him? A lot of innings catching up to him. Has the league adjusted to his pitch mix? I know he's behind in counts a lot lately, but Jesus, it has been really bad. And it's getting to a point where the Yankees signed this guy to get the best out of the top half of the contract. So if he keeps this up, that contract's going to look like expired milk very soon. You need him to get back on track if you want any chance of calling this contract a win. Anyways, the lineup did nothing in this game. There was no Giancarlo Stanton, who I'm going to tip my cap to among position players. Literally the only person hitting right now. The only one. So it's the 4th time we're going to be tipping our cap to Giancarlo. He was 2 for 4 in the series, couple of walks, 2 RBIs. Played the field. First time since 23. Made a nice throw. Didn't get the runner, but he made a nice throw. Also had a bad play at the wall, but yeah, he's the only one hitting. Literally the only one hitting, because everybody sucks. Judge doesn't have power right now. He hasn't been good for weeks. Dominguez is kind of just becoming a bad player overall. The defense seems to be getting worse, and now the bat's just not there. There's no power. He's not consistently doing anything good. Bellinger's been off lately. Volpe's come back down to earth after his fake power streak. Ryan McMahon has cooled off. He's got no power. Jazz Chisholm, his season peaked about a month or so ago. My God, in Jazz Chisholm's last 25 games, 204 average, 507 OPS. That's horrendous. And you want to talk about horrendous, Jazz Chisholm looks like Ken Griffey when you're talking about Austin Wells. Austin Wells just isn't good at the sport. Once framing becomes, obsolete. Once framing becomes irrelevant, Austin Wells is going to be bagging groceries or building burritos at Chipotle is what he'll be doing. In his last 18 games, he's batting $188 with a 369 OPS. 6% walk rate. He's had a bad year. He's chasing. He's whiffing. The expected numbers on Austin Wells are a nightmare. And I'm kind of just done being hopeful about Austin Wells long term. He's shown me nothing as a major leaguer. We are 2.5 years in to the Austin Wells experiment. He's been bad like 65, 70% of the time. He'll have a couple of good weeks here and there where he slugs a lot to pad the slugging percentage and the OPS and the RBI numbers, but he doesn't do it consistently enough. The bad streaks are way too long. He's not a good player. And I know there aren't metrics to back it up, but the Yankee lineup it's getting shut the fuck down way too often now. Especially when a good pitcher's on the mound who has his good stuff, it's getting shut down way too fucking often. But today they face some random, and they do zero. There's no life. So, whatever. Up next, Minnesota. Does it matter? No. The Yankees have a soft schedule the rest of the way. Does that matter? No. Because the Yankees are the soft schedule. Teams look forward to playing this loser team. So if you're still holding out false hope like a fucking moron, it's because the soft schedule is really from here the rest of the way. The American League is very wide open. The roster is still very talented on paper. And the manager of the team thinks everything's going to be okay. So that's where you're lying if you're an optimist. But if you're somebody who has somewhat of a brain and you're not part of the problem, then you know this team's got no shot. They have no IQ. There are no fundamentals on this team. They can't play defense. They can't run the bases. Their manager is an abomination to the franchise. So I honestly don't know how much longer I can do these. And if I do, there's going to be a lot of audio-only episodes. There will be very short episodes. And it's going to be very little baseball talk and a lot of ranting, a lot of state-of-the-team stuff like we did in this episode. So I'm out. No trivia. Not even going to go to a promo break or anything. Fuck this. 25 minutes in, I'm done. This team's a fucking joke. Good riddance to the 2025 Yankees. I am so fucking over them. Later. Well, if you made it this far, that means you listened to or watched the entire episode. Thank you. Just remember to follow, subscribe, download, rate and review, and all that fun stuff to help out the podcast. And I will see you in the next episode of BD4.